On this season of Top Chef, and Kevin Gillespie continues to dazzle diners with his inventive cuisine at his Atlanta restaurant, Woodfire Grill. This morning, we are catching up with the culinary star and getting the recipe to one of his favorite dishes. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Hey,
Good.
First of all, congratulations with all the success on Top Chef. What was that experience like for you?
It was amazing. I mean, the show is a really incredible thing. I couldn't have expected as much success from it as I've gotten.
Can you go anywhere without being recognized these days?
I can go to like my parents' house, and they seem to be the only people who don't recognize me, oddly enough. But most everywhere else, it's pretty noticeable.
What was the best part of being on Top Chef?
I think the best part was really just having to learn from yourself, you know, pushing yourself every day out of your comfort zone, and I just think it made me a better chef at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we all felt that you were robbed, just so you know.
Thank you.
Just so you know.
The city has really stood behind me on that one.
Absolutely, but I mean, you did us proud, certainly, and continue to really make your mark in Atlanta's dining scene with Woodfire Grill. I've actually been to the restaurant before the finale show. Now you can't get a reservation, I'm telling you. It's one of the hardest tables to get. You're making one of the dishes that you are serving on the menu right now.
Right now.
At Woodfire Grill. What is this?
All right, so we're doing steelhead, which is a peculiar fish. A lot of people don't know about it. It's from the Northwest. It's a landlocked species of salmon or trout. It's a rather large fish, so it has sort of the same qualities that salmon has, but not quite as fatty. So we're doing a couple different preparations on that.
Okay, where did this come from?
This comes from the Pacific Northwest. This is from Washington State, from the Quinault River. We actually got this from the Quinault Indian tribe, so it's an incredibly sustainable species of fish.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, so we're making a fish crudo.
Yeah, we're doing a crudo and we're doing a tartare. We'll make the tartare first.
Sure, let's do that.
All right, so we have a little bit of chopped steelhead here. When you take the fillet, you cut it off. We cut off nice pieces for this. We take sort of the pieces that are a little bit more peculiar and chop them up like we're making steak tartare, essentially. The first pieces of this is just a little bit of salt and pepper. Obviously, we want it to taste good.
Yeah.
So a little salt, some ground black pepper.
Can I help?
Absolutely. Chives. That's what you have in your hand.
The whole
About
thing?
half of those right there. This is kind of to taste. We're sort of emulating the flavor of beef tartare with fish. Next is cornichons, so some sour pickles. A little bit more. There we go, that's good. And then some red wine marinated red onions. So we took red onions, cut them very small, and then marinated them in red wine vinegar.
About half of that,
yep. And then some olive oil if you want to squeeze some in there for me.
Sure.
I'll tell you when to stop. Just give it a gush. There you go. And then give it a stir up here. I'm going to let you start stirring on that when we build this salad. So don't hesitate to just really mix it around. You want to kind of beat it up a little bit. Like with any sort of tartare, you want to force it in there. You want to really work all those flavor components into it.
Yeah.
Push it in really tough. And then we're just going to make a nice little fancy quenelle or a little twirl of it on the plate.
Nice.
The next piece of it is a salad that we're going to do here. It's just sort of a middle garnish, and it goes with both pieces of it. I have celery leaves, parsley leaves, dill, and chive in here. And they're all just sort of picked together. I have a little bit of watermelon radish. So this is like a red meat radish. Most people are a little unfamiliar with it.
Try one of these.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This comes from Moore Farms, so this is a farm that's close to us. We try and purchase all this locally, or at least from a sustainable source like the fish came from.
That's
we're going to chuck those in there. We're going to hit it with just a little bit of lemon juice, just for a little bit of acidity, not too much. And then if you'll hit it with a little bit of olive oil, I'll get some salt and pepper in there again.
Okay.
That's good. A little salt, a little pepper.
What is something, a seasonal something or the other that you're using at the restaurant right now that is just blowing you away?
You know, I'm really happy about this steelhead. We're also getting sturgeon, which is another cool fish from the Pacific Northwest. Really meaty, almost like a porky quality. And we all know my feelings on pork, so that works out. If you want to give a stir to that for me. And then the last piece is the crudo here. Now, this is really simple. We have this sliced fish, raw, seasoned with salt.
Okay.
We're going to hit it with some fresh black pepper.
Beautiful.
And we're going to zest a little bit of grapefruit on it. I have a little microplaner here. This is usually the sort of the best or fastest way to get it on here, nice and small.
Okay.
And then we're going to hit that with a little bit of olive oil as well.
Just drizzle it on?
Yep, just drizzle it on. Make it nice and shiny. There we go.
Okay.
And then the last little piece, and you want to do this just before you put it on the plate, is hit it with some lemon juice, because this is going to cook the fish a little bit, so you have to be careful
almost
not
like
to...
ceviche-ish.
Yeah, exactly. You can let this sit for a couple of minutes, or you can serve it right away, which is what we're going to do. So, I have my plate here.
All right.
The one thing you haven't seen...
Where you make it look pretty.
Yeah, exactly. This is the part where people pay me the big bucks. This is a homemade mayonnaise that we mixed with chopped dill. So this is just the sauce for the plate, and it goes with all of the components on it. So we'll just put a little bit of that down. We're going to take the crudo part of it, and really 2 pieces is enough for 1 portion. This is what we would serve at the restaurant.
Okay.
We'll take the tartare. We'll make our little quenelle. This takes a little bit of practice. Actually, I kind of have to fuss at my cooks a lot of the time because I don't think their quenelles are pretty enough, and
you're very particular about your technique.
Exactly, they get frustrated at me. I think they want to yell back at me for fussing at them.
Do you think you're a pretty laid back boss?
I'm incredibly laid back, and I'm waiting for somebody to call into the studio to tell you that that's not the case. But I think I'm extremely laid back. So we'll put the quenelle fish right here next to it.
Oh, look how beautiful that is.
We got our little herb salad here. We're going to take some grapefruit supremes. This is just a ruby grapefruit, the same one that I shaved on top of that. We'll lay a couple pieces of grapefruit down.
And I love how the color just complements the color of the steelhead?
Yeah, exactly, steelhead. And this is all stuff that's in season right now, so this is something that you can find locally or something that's sustainable to us.
You're a big fan of the sustainable, ingredients in your cuisine, but what is another common thread that runs through everything that you plate up and serve at your restaurant?
Well, we try and make an emphasis on making food simple but complex in its flavors, and I think that's what we have here with this dish. You have a lot going on, but you have a fairly simplistic dish. You have steelhead represented in a couple different ways, some fresh herbs, some crunch from some radish, and then just a little bit of dill here. And these are all like traditional flavors, but they've been done a different way. Dill and fish is incredibly traditional, but not presented in this exact manner. So.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I want to thank you so much for coming by, making time for us. Continued success at the restaurant.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Woodfire Grill. Folks, get out there and make your reservation now. Maybe you'll get in the end of March.
Next year.
Kevin will be also at the Slow Food Atlanta fundraiser. That's a great organization, along with some of Atlanta's favorite chefs on February 21st. You need tickets in advance, and proceeds go to support the Terra Madre Foundation. Log on to myfoxatlanta.com, and we will have a link on our Good Day page.